Listen to me with every fiber of your soul, because if your eyes have fallen upon these words, it is not an accident, it is not coincidence, and it is not random. This is a divine interruption, a moment of spiritual collision, a sign from God Himself that someone in your life still matters more than your frustration, more than your disappointment, more than your exhaustion. God brought you here to deliver one message straight into your spirit. Do not give up on this person. Not now, not yet. Not when God still has His hand on the story. Not when God is whispering to your heart that the timing of this encounter is holy, purposeful, and loaded with meaning. You may not see it fully, but heaven sees what you cannot. And that is why this message has been placed directly in front of you at this exact moment in your life. You feel the weight of this person in your soul because God has assigned you to them in a way that cannot be explained logically. You have tried to distance yourself, tried to harden your heart, tried to convince yourself to move on, but every time you do, something inside you pulls you back. And that something is not weakness, it is not confusion, it is not emotional dependency. That pull is the quiet voice of God reminding you that some bonds are not meant to be broken, some assignments cannot be walked away from, and some people are placed in your life with divine intention. God is saying, hold on, stay a little longer, believe a little deeper, see beyond what your physical eyes show you. Because what God is doing in this person is hidden beneath layers you cannot yet see. There is someone in your life right now who is fighting battles they cannot even put into words. Someone who is carrying wounds they never told you about. Someone who has been walking through a storm that would have destroyed them if God had not given them the strength to survive it. And even though their actions may frustrate you, even though their silence may confuse you, even though their inconsistency may hurt you, God knows what is happening beneath their surface. God sees the pain they cannot express. God sees the weight they cannot carry alone. And God placed you in their life because your presence is part of the healing they need, but do not know how to ask for. This is why your heart keeps returning to them. Not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. Not because you are stuck, but because you are spiritually connected. Not because you lack options, but because you were divinely assigned. And when God assigns you to someone, that assignment will disturb you until you obey it. You can try to run, but your spirit cannot detach from something God has tethered you to. You can try to suppress it, but the truth will rise again. You can try to interpret it logically, but the connection is spiritual, not logical. God connects spirit to spirit, purpose to purpose, destiny to destiny. You are not reading this by chance. God is intervening because you are on the edge of giving up on someone whom heaven has not given up on. God is pushing pause on your frustration and saying, before you walk away, listen to me. Before you close this chapter, hear my voice. Before you destroy what I am still building, wait for me to finish my work. Because sometimes God uses you as the bridge someone needs to reach their breakthrough. Sometimes God uses your patience to restore someone's faith. Sometimes God uses your presence to remind someone that they are not alone. And sometimes God uses your love, your strength, and your spirit to pull someone back from the brink of giving up on themselves. This person in your life is not perfect. They may be inconsistent, complicated, emotional, distant, or deeply wounded. But do you know why God is telling you not to give up on them? Because transformation is happening beneath the surface. Because God is shaping them quietly. Because their spirit is evolving in ways you cannot see yet. Because their heart is softening in moments when no one is watching. Because their mind is battling thoughts they are too embarrassed to admit. And because they are closer to a turning point than you realize, you are seeing the struggle. But God is seeing the progress. When God works on a person, it rarely looks clean or polished. It looks messy. It looks confusing. It looks unstable. Because spiritual growth often manifests as emotional turbulence. A person may withdraw, lash out, shut down, or behave unpredictably, not because they are failing, but because they are evolving. And right before God brings someone into their breakthrough, they often fight battles that make them appear worse, not better. So when you say they're getting distant, God says they're transforming. When you say they're shutting me out, God says they're learning to trust again. When you say they're inconsistent, God says they're fighting for stability. When you say I can't see hope, God says I am working in the unseen. This is why you cannot give up on them. You are seeing the chapter that is testing them, not the chapter that will define them. You are witnessing their valley, not their mountain. You are observing their weakness, not their destiny. God is doing something in this person that is deeper than their behavior, deeper than their patterns, deeper than their mistakes. God is reshaping their identity, healing their wounds, and reconstructing their inner world. And you have been placed in their life not to judge them for where they are, but to stand with them while God prepares them for where they are going. This person may not be easy to love right now, but God did not call you to love only when it is easy. God called you to love with spiritual endurance, the kind of love that can withstand storms, the kind of love that remains steady when everything else is shaking, the kind of love that sees the soul, not just the surface, the kind of love that recognizes the purpose inside a person even when their behavior hides it. The kind of love that does not walk away during hard seasons, because anyone can love conveniently, but it takes someone chosen by God to love faithfully. God brought you here to remind you that your connection with this person is not ordinary. It carries purpose. It carries assignment. It carries power. And you cannot walk away simply because the process is uncomfortable. Purpose-filled connections require patience. They require understanding. They require spiritual maturity. They require the willingness to see beyond the moment into what God is preparing for the future. And right now, your future is tied to your ability to endure this season without giving up on someone God has entrusted to your care. God knows when you are tired. God knows when you are frustrated. God knows when you feel like you are giving more than you are receiving. God knows when you feel unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. And God sees every tear you cry in silence. Nothing you feel is hidden from Him. But God is also saying, hold on a little longer. My hand is still in this. Because the breakthrough you have been praying for, whether in their life, your relationship, or your emotional connection, is closer than it appears. But breakthroughs often require endurance. They require spiritual stamina. They require the willingness to remain when walking away feels easier. There are moments in life when God gives you a person, not because they are ready, but because you are strong enough to stand with them until they become ready. And there are moments when God gives you someone, not because they are perfect, but because they are chosen. Chosen for your heart, chosen for your destiny, chosen for your assignment. And sometimes God gives you a person whose healing will happen while they are connected to you. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. Your love might be the very thing that keeps them from breaking. Your loyalty might be the anchor that stabilizes them. Your encouragement might be the spark that helps them rise again. And your patience might be the reason they finally heal. God is saying to you, I placed this person in your life intentionally. Do not abandon what I am still restoring, because what God is building cannot be rushed. What God is healing cannot be forced. What God is preparing cannot be interrupted. And what God has destined for you cannot be taken away from you. Not by people, not by circumstances, not by misunderstandings, not by emotional storms. God is in the center of this connection, and He is not finished yet. This is why you keep feeling a pull toward them. This is why you cannot detach emotionally. This is why you feel spiritually tied, because God is still writing this story, and the enemy would love nothing more than to push you into giving up prematurely. The enemy wants you to walk away right before the breakthrough, right before the transformation, right before the healing, right before the purpose unfolds. But God is saying, stay. Don't walk away from someone I'm working on, because this person is not who they used to be, and they are not yet who they are going to be. They are in transition. And transitions are uncomfortable. Transitions are messy. Transitions are draining. But transitions are also sacred, because it is in the transition that God breaks the old patterns and forms the new ones. It is in the transition that God heals the heart, renews the mind, rebuilds the identity. It is in the transition that God prepares a person for the next season of their life. And you, yes, you are part of that transition. This is why giving up now would be a spiritual mistake, because you are aligned with their transformation. You were sent as part of the connection God will use to elevate them. And this is why your spirit feels tied to theirs. It is not emotional confusion. This is divine connection. You were placed in their life to see what others cannot see, to believe when others doubt, to stay when others walk away. And that loyalty, that love, that inner strength you carry is not accidental. It is spiritual. It is purposeful. It is God-given. Do not give up on this person, because God has not given up on them. God is shaping something powerful inside them. God is awakening something deep within their soul. God is pulling them out of cycles that have kept them stuck for years. God is teaching them lessons that will prepare them for the greatness ahead. God is softening their heart, strengthening their spirit, and aligning their destiny. And when God finishes His work, this person will not be the same. They will become stronger, wiser, more grounded, more grateful, more stable, more loving, more connected to their purpose. And when that transformation unfolds, you will understand why God told you not to walk away. Sometimes the greatest blessings come from the people you were tempted to give up on. Sometimes the most meaningful relationships are forged through seasons of struggle. Sometimes the strongest bonds are built during moments of vulnerability. Sometimes the deepest love grows through challenges. And sometimes God hides your future inside someone who looks complicated right now. But God does not choose based on perfection. God chooses based on purpose. This is why you are here. This is why you're reading this message to the very end. This is why something inside you is awakening. Because deep down, you know this person is worth the patience, worth the effort, worth the prayer, worth the endurance, worth the wait, not because they have earned it, but because God has chosen them for a greater story that has not unfolded yet. When God places someone in your life with a purpose, your spirit will feel it before your mind understands it. You will sense a pull that goes deeper than emotion, deeper than desire, deeper than personal preference. It is a spiritual assignment, a divine weight pressed gently upon your heart, urging you to remain where logic tells you to leave. And this is why God is speaking to you again right now, because your spirit has been wrestling. You have questioned whether this connection is worth the fight, worth the tears, worth the uncertainty. But God is reminding you that purpose does not come wrapped in convenience. Purpose comes wrapped in responsibility. When God chooses you to stand beside someone during the season, when their life is fragile, He does not choose casually. He chooses intentionally, knowing He has placed inside you the patience, the compassion, the discernment, and the spiritual endurance required for such a calling. There is a depth to this connection that cannot be measured by surface moments or temporary setbacks. You were not called to this person just for the sunny days. You were called for the storms, the shadows, the silent nights when they cannot verbalize their pain. You were chosen to see what others overlook, to hold on when others release, to remain steady when everything around them is shaking. And God is saying to you, do not walk away now, not when your presence is contributing to a breakthrough that is about to unfold. Your presence is not ordinary. Your words are not ordinary. Your patience is not ordinary. God placed something inside you that becomes a shelter for this person's vulnerable soul. A shield not by your strength, but by God's strength flowing through you. God is showing you that what feels like emotional turbulence is actually spiritual activity. This person is being stretched, refined, and awakened. Their past is being confronted. Their fears are being exposed. Their wounds are rising to the surface, not to destroy them, but to heal them. And healing almost always looks messy before it looks miraculous. So do not misinterpret their struggle as a sign of hopelessness. It is actually evidence that God is pulling them out of cycles that have held them captive for years. They are being prepared for a new version of themselves, and transitions often look like chaos. But even in chaos, God is working. Even in confusion, God is shaping. Even in silence, God is speaking to their soul. God wants you to understand that He did not send you to judge their wounds. He sent you to witness their transformation. You were not assigned to this person because they are perfect. You were assigned because they are important. Important to God's plan, important to their own destiny, important to the spiritual future that God is writing. And whether you fully grasp it yet or not, you are part of that plan. Your patience is part of that plan. Your endurance is part of that plan. Your unwavering heart is part of that plan. God is using you not because you are flawless, but because you are willing. Your spirit has been sensing something shifting, something awakening, something stirring. That is God moving in the unseen places of this person's heart. You may not see the full evidence yet, but you can feel the spiritual pressure increasing. That pressure is the sign that God is working on them. They are wrestling with old patterns. They are battling inner conflicts. They are fighting the war between who they used to be and who God is calling them to be. And sometimes the fight makes them withdraw. Sometimes it makes them inconsistent. Sometimes it makes them distant. But distance does not mean disconnection. Silence does not mean the bond is broken. God is dealing with them in private ways that you cannot witness, but you are witnessing the side effects of that divine work. Do not give up on this person, because what they are becoming is greater than what they are struggling with. You may see their uncertainty, but God sees their potential. You may see their hesitation, but God sees their calling. You may see their fear, but God sees their future. And there will come a day when the version of them standing in front of you will be a testament to the power of God's patience, patience that He cultivated through you. You are not holding on in vain. You are not waiting in vain. You are not believing in vain. God is not letting your endurance go unnoticed. Every silent prayer you whispered for this person has echoed through the heavens. Every time you resisted the urge to walk away, heaven stood witness. Every moment you felt tired but stayed anyway, God took note. And God does not waste endurance. God does not ignore faithfulness. God does not overlook loyalty, especially when it is the kind of loyalty that aligns with His purpose. This connection, this bond, this spiritual tie is not temporary. There is something eternal woven into it, something God ordained, something that goes deeper than circumstance, deeper than conflict, deeper than misunderstanding. You are not drawn to this person by accident. You are placed by God. And when God positions you beside someone, it is because your presence is needed for their elevation. Your voice is needed for their clarity. Your love is needed for their restoration, even if they do not fully understand the role you play in their life right now. Their soul does. God is preparing both of you simultaneously. He is refining you just as He is refining them. Your patience is being strengthened. Your faith is being stretched. Your discernment is being sharpened. Because what God is building between you requires spiritual maturity. God is preparing you to carry a connection that will be too powerful for immature hands, and He is preparing them to rise into the version of themselves that can honor the connection He is creating. You may think you are standing still, but you are not. God is elevating you through this process, and the same God who is elevating you is elevating them. Quietly, slowly, intentionally. What looks stagnant is actually progress. What feels delayed is actually divine timing. What seems confusing is actually purposeful. God is not late. God is never late. God is building something sacred on a foundation that must be strong enough to endure every storm. There are moments when God brings a person into your life, not to test your patience, but to awaken your compassion, not to drain your strength, but to reveal the depth of your calling. This is one of those moments. You are being stretched, not because God is trying to break you, but because God is trying to build you, build your endurance, build your spiritual discernment, build your capacity to love with the kind of strength that does not crumble under pressure. And God is saying to you right now, this person is part of your spiritual development. Do not walk away from what is shaping you, because sometimes God matures you by giving you someone who forces you to rise above your emotions and operate from a higher realm of understanding. This person is not in your life to be a burden. They are an assignment from God. And assignments require responsibility. They require a level of faith that can see beyond the discomfort of the moment. They require you to speak strength into someone who does not yet believe in their own strength. They require you to see potential where others see problems. They require you to stand firm, even when the situation feels unpredictable. And because God trusted you with this assignment, He is equipping you with the inner wisdom necessary to carry it. You are not operating alone. God is guiding your heart, your intuition, your thoughts, and your responses. Everything you feel is being shaped under the influence of God's hand. This is why your spirit refuses to disconnect from this person. Even when your logic says, let go, something deeper says, stay. Even when your emotions say, I'm tired, something sacred whispers, hold on. This is divine alignment pressing against your heart, reminding you that the connection you have to this person is not human-made. It is God-established. And what is established by God cannot be dismantled by circumstance, miscommunication, distance, or fear. If God ties souls together, no earthly force can untie them. God does not build fragile alignments. God builds spiritual bonds designed to withstand pressure, misunderstanding, and seasons of emotional turbulence. You may not realize it yet, but you are playing a pivotal role in this person's awakening. Your presence has been a stabilizer in their storm. Your compassion has softened places within them that were hardened by years of disappointment. Your faith has awakened their own faith. Your consistency has confronted their insecurity. Your loyalty has shown them a kind of love they never believed was real. God has been using you as a vessel of healing. Whether you intended to be one or not, you are an instrument in the hands of God, quietly shaping, gently uplifting, spiritually reinforcing someone whose life needed a touch from God delivered through you. This is why giving up now would not only be premature, it would interrupt the divine process. God is doing surgery on this person's soul, and your presence is part of the environment needed for their healing. God has placed you as the light in the room where their wounds are exposed. God has positioned you as the calm in the season where their emotions are unstable. God has assigned you as the reminder that they are not invisible, not disposable, not abandoned. Your endurance is proof that God still sees them. Your patience is proof that God still cares about them. Your willingness to stay is proof that they are worth the investment. And sometimes a person will heal simply because someone refused to leave. But your role is not merely to stand beside them. Your role is also to learn from them. They are awakening aspects of your own soul that you did not know needed refinement. They are teaching you how to love with intention, how to stay grounded in faith when circumstances test your resilience, how to listen with spiritual ears instead of emotional assumptions, and how to elevate your understanding beyond the surface. God is using this connection to deepen your compassion, expand your empathy, and strengthen your ability to be an anchor eye. Someone else's storm. You may believe that you are helping them, but in many ways, God is using them to transform you too. God is teaching you that real love is not fragile. Real connection is not easily broken. Real purpose is not erased by difficulty. When God is in something, He sustains it. When God ordains something, He strengthens it. When God assigns someone to your heart, He protects that assignment with divine authority. And right now, God is protecting the bond you share with this person. God is defending it. God is nurturing it. God is preparing it for greater purpose. You may not understand the fullness of that purpose yet, but God does. There is coming a moment when the pieces will align, when the confusion will fade, when the silence will break, and when the purpose behind this connection will reveal itself with clarity so radiant that you will wonder why you ever questioned it. God does not operate in randomness. Everything He orchestrates carries intentionality. This person was placed in your life with divine precision. Their presence is part of your destiny, and your presence is part of theirs. And when God intertwines destinies, those destinies may be tested, but they will never be defeated. Do not give up on this person because what is unfolding is bigger than your emotions, bigger than your fears, bigger than your doubts. God is preparing a transformation inside this person that will not only bless them, it will bless you. The version of them that is emerging will be more aligned, more stable, more awakened, more spiritually aware. God is not just healing them, God is elevating them. And once that elevation is complete, the connection between you will shift into a deeper, more meaningful, more purpose-filled form. You will see the seeds you planted finally bearing fruit. You will witness the prayers you whispered finally manifesting. You will look into their eyes one day and see the fullness of what God has been shaping all along. You are closer to that breakthrough than you think. The weight you feel now is the pressure that precedes transformation. The tension you feel is the stretching that precedes elevation. The uncertainty you feel is the veil that precedes revelation. God is not pushing you to hold on without purpose. God is preparing you to witness something beautiful, something powerful, something spiritually significant. And when that moment comes, you will understand why God whispered to your heart again and again, do not give up on this person. There will come a time when you realize that the very person you are fighting for today is connected to a future God has already written for you. A future where the strength you are building right now becomes the foundation of something extraordinary. A future where the patience you are showing becomes the glue that holds something divine together. A future where the love you are giving becomes the catalyst for someone's transformation. God is not asking you to hold on blindly. God is asking you to hold on faithfully. Faith does not cling to what it sees. Faith clings to what God has spoken into the Spirit, and your spirit has already received the message that this person is not to be discarded, not to be pushed aside, not to be abandoned in their season of struggle. God has sealed something between you that your emotions cannot fully comprehend. You are not witnessing their weakness, you are witnessing their becoming. Weakness is not a flaw, it is a doorway to transformation. When a person is stripped of their defenses, their spirit becomes teachable. When they are overwhelmed by their own fears, their heart becomes open to guidance. When they are unsure of themselves, they become more sensitive to the presence of God. This person is being humbled, reshaped, and softened, and while this process may seem chaotic, it is actually sacred. You are watching God break down walls they built over the years, walls made of fear, disappointment, betrayal, and self-doubt. Those walls had to fall for their true self to rise. Do not interpret their breaking as a sign to leave. Their breaking is a sign that God is rebuilding. And here is the truth. You are a part of the rebuilding. Your support is a tool in God's hands. Your patience is part of the spiritual scaffolding God is erecting around this person's soul. Your presence is one of the stabilizing beams God is using to fortify. You wonder why your heart keeps returning to them, even when your mind tries to reason its way out. It is because God reinforced your spirit with commitment. God strengthened your emotions with compassion. God appointed you as a vessel of endurance for this person's journey. When God calls you to someone, He also empowers you for the responsibility that comes with that calling. Do not underestimate the impact you are making, even in the silent moments. You may feel like nothing is changing, but God is shifting things in realms you cannot see. Every encouraging word you speak becomes a seed God plants in their soul. Every time you choose forgiveness over frustration, you create space for healing to take root. Every moment you choose to understand rather than judge, God uses your understanding to dissolve their shame. You are doing more than you think. You are reaching deeper than you know. You are touching places within them that they never allowed anyone else to reach. You are showing them that love backed by God is not fragile. It is powerful, steady, and transformative. And even when they pull away, even when fear makes them distant, even when uncertainty makes them quiet, your spirit still knows how to stay connected without suffocating them. This is not codependency, this is spiritual discernment. You are learning how to hold someone without controlling them, how to support them without overwhelming them, how to love them without losing yourself. God is teaching you balance, spiritual balance that strengthens both of you. God is teaching you how to remain steadfast but not forceful, how to be present without pressure, how to be committed without becoming consumed. This is not ordinary love, this is God-led love. You are also learning that not every connection that makes you uncomfortable is meant to be abandoned. Sometimes discomfort is a sign that God is stretching you, inviting you into a higher expression of compassion. Sometimes the challenges you face with this person are actually lessons designed to elevate your character. God may be using this person to expose areas within your own heart that still need healing. Maybe they are revealing your impatience, your need for control, your fear of being misunderstood, or your discomfort with vulnerability. Instead of running from those revelations, God wants you to allow them to refine you. This connection is not only about their growth, it is about yours. The truth is, the person you are fighting for may not even fully understand the value of your presence yet. They may not realize how deeply God is using you to stabilize their spirit. They may not see the quiet strength you bring into their life, but one day they will. One day clarity will hit them like a divine wave. One day their eyes will open and they will see you the way God always intended them to see you, with gratitude, reverence, and understanding. They will recognize the loyalty you carried. They will remember the moments when you stayed while others left. They will feel the weight of your compassion, and they will understand the sacredness of what God gave them through you. God is working on their heart right now. Even if you think nothing is shifting, God is adjusting their spirit, tuning their awareness, preparing their understanding. You are sowing seeds that God is watering. And when the harvest comes, it will be abundant. It will be emotional. It will be undeniable. It will be worth every moment of endurance. Do not be misled by the silence. Silence is where God does some of His most significant work. Silence is where God reveals truth that cannot be heard. D through noise. Silence is where the soul confronts itself. Silence is where the heart recognizes what it truly needs. Silence is where God whispers answers that reshape a person's entire perspective. If this person is quiet right now, do not assume they are disconnected. They are being confronted by God in ways they cannot yet articulate. They are being confronted with their fears, their insecurities, their patterns, their future. And while they are processing, God is reminding them of you. God is reminding them of your steadiness. God is reminding them of your presence. God is showing them the value of the bond He placed in their life. And your role right now is to remain spiritually grounded. Keep your heart aligned with God. Keep your intentions pure. Keep your faith active. You do not have to force anything. What God is writing cannot be erased by fear, delayed by silence, or threatened by uncertainty. When God authors a connection, no confusion can destroy it. When God binds two souls by purpose, no season of distance can dismantle it. When God says, do not give up, it is because the promise is still alive.